Today's story is called The Old Woman in the Woods. The old woman in the woods. The old woman in the woods. The old woman in the forest. Okay, a long time ago, many years ago, 300 years ago, there was a young woman. And she was a young woman, and she was a servant. Servant is a woman or a young woman, or could be an old woman, I don't know. But servant is a person who helps cleaning the house, who helps cooking for meals, who does dishes, who does laundry. You know, the housekeeper, helper, the servant. She was a girl who was a helper, okay, for a family, or for, in this story, I think she was a helper, servant for a man and woman, husband and wife. Let's see, man and woman, and he and she. He was her master, master, and she was her mistress. So, they lived in a big house, and this is their house, and she worked for them. She was a servant girl. All right? So, this servant girl lived with her master and mistress in a house, and she was working for them. She did cleaning, she did cooking, she did washing, she did the sweeping, and she did everything. Or most of the things. I'm sure the mistress did some too. But anyway, they lived together in this house. But one day, they decided to go on a journey. They decided to go somewhere. And so what happened was they got on the wagon. This is the wagon. And, I'm sure they had a horse. Okay. A horse, one horse, two horses, I don't know, but maybe one horse. And the master sat here and, told the, guided or told the horse to walk or run, And then mistress and the servant girl sat in the wagon carriage, and they began traveling. Just a second. I hope it's okay. Yes, they went traveling. Now, when they came to a forest, they came to a forest. They came to the woods. And then when they came to the woods, some people, men came. These were bad people. They were robbers. Robber is not a thief. Thief is like when you are not in the house, they come into your house when you're not there and takes things away. But robber is a little worse than that. Sometimes they kill people, bank robber, things like that. And so they take things away from you, but then they kill you sometimes, It's scary. But anyway, so the robbers came. And they came and they said to the master, give us money. Yeah? And then the mistress was surprised, and the servant girl was in the back, but she was surprised, and then she didn't know what to do. But then the robbers came, and the robbers came here, and they said, give us money. And then I don't know what the master said, but these robbers, bang, killed the horse. Horse fell down dead. The servant girl was very afraid, so she jumped out of the caravan or the wagon, and she ran away. But the mistress was too late. So the robbers came, killed the horse, killed the master, and killed the mistress. Now, in the wagon, they had lots of expensive, valuable things. Valuable things means could have been money, could have been jewels, diamonds and rubies and sapphires, emeralds and pearls and amethyst and all that stuff. So there are lots of jewels and diamonds and money and gold who were in there. The robbers came and took this valuable thing. They took the booty. They took this box. They took this thing, and then they left. They left with their booty. Booty means a valuable stolen goods. It's a stolen goods. They stole it, and it's a valuable thing. And so they took this away, and then they left. Yeah? Now, the girl jumped out of the wagon, and she was hiding behind a big tree. After a while, she came out, and she saw the horse was down. Oh my gosh. Horse was dead. Okay? The master was dead. And the mistress was dead. It was a bad scene. It was a disaster. It was a sudden event. She did not expect that this was going to happen. It was a sudden event. And then it was a disaster. Disaster means miserable things. It's a scary event. And it's very, very bad. Now, she came out and she saw this. She came out and she saw this and she said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? She said, this girl. Now she came here and she said, oh, what am I going to do? She said. She tried to go this way, that way, to look for a road to get out of the forest, but she couldn't find a way. She could not find a path. Path means street or trail or something that you can walk, but there was no street, no road, no path, no trail. And so she didn't know what to do. She walked for a while because she didn't want to be here with the dead horse and dead people. And so she walked and walked for a while. Dead people. So she walked for a while and she came to a big tree. She came to a big tree and the sun was going down. The moon was coming up. And it was very, very dark. It was getting dark. And she thought, what am I going to do? She thought, I don't know how to get out of the forest, and I don't know how to find food. She thought she's going to die because she will not find anything to eat, and so she thought she would starve to death. Starve. Starve means you will become hungry and hungrier and hungrier and hungriest, and then you finally die. Starve means you die of hunger because you're hungry. You die. And so she thought she's going to starve to death. She thought she thought she was going to perish. Perish means die. Okay, she was afraid that she was going to perish. She said, oh, I don't know what to do. But then she sat down. Okay, she's a good girl. She sat down and she prayed. You know, she prayed. She prayed to God. She said, oh God, please help me, she said. I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust you. You will help me. Okay, she decided to commend herself to God. Commend herself to God means she let God decide, you know, she let God to take care of her. She said, I'm sure you will help me. And she prayed and she said, thank you, and let me go to sleep. Okay, so she was there in the sun, you know, it was dark, and I'm sure it was getting cold in the forest. And then she didn't know what to do, but she was praying. And guess what? What happened was a bird came. It was a bird, but it was not just a regular bird. I mean, I shouldn't say regular bird, but it was a white dove. Dove is the white bird that comes, that brings the olive leaf on Christmas, something like that. On the Christmas cards, usually there is this dove. Dove is a sign of peace, I think. Peace, okay? War and peace. And it's a white bird, and it's a good bird. I shouldn't say I shouldn't say it's a good bird because I don't think there's any bad birds, but this is a good bird. Okay, so a bird. Okay, the bird. Bird came. The bird came, and this bird had something in its mouth, in its beak. Okay, this is beak. And the bird dropped something, and it was a key. It was a gold key. And the bird spoke. And the bird said, girl, do you see a big tree over there? Over there. And so she looked, she stood up, she picked up the key, and she looked, and yes, there was a big tree. And then the bird said, go there, the bird said. There is a little lock on it. Lock. There's a lock on the tree. There is a lock on the tree. A lock is like it's like a keyhole. Keyhole. Okay. And so she picked up the key and she went over to this tree. And then, sure enough, there was a keyhole. And so she put the key in there, and she turned it, and guess what? The tree opened. tree opened, and inside there was food inside. There was a table, and on the table there was warm milk and some freshly baked bread, and I don't know what else there were, but food was in there. And the bird said, "There is enough food for you. Go and eat that food." And so she said, "Thank you." And she went there and she ate. And then after that she said, "Oh, it's getting dark and it is getting cold." She said, "I wish I could go to my bed and go to sleep. I want to go home and go to sleep," she said. And then the bird came back again and dropped another key, the second key. And the bird said to her, "Girl, look over there. Do you see a tree over there?" And so she looked, and yes, sure enough, there was a tree over there. And he said, "Go there. There is a lock on the tree." And so she went there, and sure enough, there was a keyhole. She put the key in there, turned it, and then the tree opened, and there she saw a beautiful bed was in the tree. It was a white bed. White bed spread, white bed pillows, white blanket. And so she went there, she closed the door, and she went to sleep. Isn't that nice? The next morning, the bird came back, and the bird dropped another key, and gold key. It wasn't a silver key, it was a gold key. And then the bird said, "Do you see a tree over there?" So, yes, there was a tree over there. He said, "Go there and take this key and open the tree." She went there and she opened the tree, and then guess what? There was a beautiful dress, beautiful shoes, beautiful necklace and earrings and bracelets, and then earrings and rings and necklace and everything, brooches and everything was in there. Oh, she was happy. She said, "Thank you" to the bird. And so she lived in this area. She had enough to eat. She had a bed to sleep in, and she had a beautiful dress to wear. And every day the bird came. Every day the bird came, and whatever she needed, he gave it to her. And so she was happy, and she lived here for a while. And I don't know how long she lived there. Maybe she lived there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then one day the bird came, and the bird said, well, this time the bird did not have the key in its beak. Okay, it's a beak. It's a beak. He didn't have a key in his beak, but the bird said, this time bird talked, and he said, "Girl." He called her girl. "Girl, can you help me?" He said, "Will you help me this time? I helped you. Will you help me this time?" So the girl said, "Of course I'll help you." She said, "Of course I'll help you with all my heart." Isn't that nice? She said, "I will help you with all my heart. I'll help you with all my heart. Tell me, what do you want me to do? Of course I'll do it for you." And then he said, "I'll take you to a little house. Come with me," he said. "I will take you to a little house. And this house, in this house, there is a woman. An old woman lives there. Go into that house. Okay? There is an old woman lives in this house. Go to this house. Open the door and go in. The woman is sitting. There is a fireplace. Okay, remember? Fireplace. There is a fireplace. And the woman is sitting near the fireplace. Woman sitting near the fireplace. You go in there, and then the woman will say, "Who are you?" And then the woman would say, "Why are you here? Where are you going?" The woman would ask you questions. The bird said, "Do not answer. Don't say anything to her. Just go to, there is a room behind the fireplace. Go to that room, open the door and go in." And then the woman will say, "Where are you going? This is my house. You can't go in there," she will say. But don't answer her. You go into this room, and then you will see a table. On this table, you will see many rings. Many rings. A diamond ring, a ruby ring, sapphire ring, pearl ring, many rings in there. But the bird said, I don't want any of those rings with jewels. He said, "I want plain. Plain means simple. Plain gold ring. Go and find a plain gold ring and bring it to me. I want that plain gold ring. Go find one and bring it to me," he said. So the girl said, "Okay, I will do that for you." And so the bird took her to this house. She came here, and she didn't knock on the door. She just opened the door, and she went inside. Sure enough, the woman was sitting by the fireplace, and the woman looked at the girl, and she said, "Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing in my house?" she said. But the girl didn't say anything. She just went to this door, and then the woman came and grabbed her, but then she didn't say anything. And then she went into the room, and she looked for the ring. She looked for the ring. She, moved her fingers all around it. She stirred among the rings to look for this plain ring, but she couldn't find it. She thought, strange. I wonder where the ring is. And then what she saw was that this woman was going away. She was going away, running away with a bird cage. She was running away from the bird cage. And so the girl came here. She said, "Let me see that bird." She took the bird cage. She took the bird cage from the old woman. She took the bird cage from the old woman. Okay, she took the bird cage from the old woman. And she looked into the bird cage, and then she saw there was bird inside, and this bird had the gold ring in its beak. So the girl put her hand into the bird cage, and took the the ring from the bird, and she ran away. She said she ran away. Okay? She stole the ring from the old woman. Now, she came back and she said to the bird, bird, she said, I brought you the ring, she said to the bird. And she was expecting the bird to come and pick it up. But the bird was not there. She thought, strange. So she decided to sit down and wait for the bird to come. So she sat down by a tree and she leaned against. Lean against means her back is right here, you know. Lean against. She leaned against the tree and she was waiting for the bird to come with a ring. And then, strange, the tree was very, very hard when she leaned against the tree, but soon the tree felt very soft and very, it was very soft. It felt very soft and flexible. It says pliable, flexible, and pliable means easily bend. You can bend it, very soft. And she thought that was strange. And then there were branch, you know, the tree has branches. The branches came down, and the branches wrapped, she was wrapped with the two branches. The branches came down and the branches droop. Okay, droop. Droop means come down. Drooped. And it, you know, the branch is straight, yeah? So, but it bend around her, and the branches held her, hugged her, embraced her. She thought that was strange, and she looked at the branches, and then these branches were not branches anymore, but someone's arms. Someone's arms were holding her. And so she thought, what is this? And she turned around and looked up. And then when she turned around and looked up, there was not a tree anymore, but there was a man behind her. And when she looked up, it was a young man. It was a young man, and he said, thank you, he said. He said, you set me free. You set me free. You set me free. You delivered me. You set me free from the magic of the wicked witch. He said, the old woman was a wicked witch. You delivered me from the power of the old woman. She was the wicked witch. He said, as long as that woman had the gold ring, I was a tree. I was a tree, And I was a tree all day long, except for 2 hours. For 2 hours, I was a bird. For 2 hours, I was a bird. I was the white dove who came and helped you, he said. I was the white dove who came in and helped you. But I was a tree for 22 hours, and only for 2 hours I was a bird, he said. But now you took the gold ring from the witch. I could regain. Okay, I could get back. I could regain my human form. Okay, human form. Okay, thank you for saving me. Thank you for freeing me from the enchantment. Enchantment is a magic spell. Magic. Okay. Oh, she was happy to hear that. And he said, she was so happy to hear it. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I could help you, she said. She said, oh, I'm glad I could help you, she said. And then what he said was, girl, I am a prince. And then he said, my servants and my soldiers are all changed into trees and birds in this forest. But now you saved me, everybody will be able to gain their human form. And then lots of people came. And then he said, let's go back to our castle. Let's go back to my castle and let's get married. And so this boy, the prince, and the servant girl went to a castle and they got married and they lived very happily together until they died. The end.